To truly appreciate someone who is top of their field, you really have to be either high up in the field or on the path in the field, having some tread under your boots. Because if you're just a newbie or someone on the outside, you could not appreciate them because you have no idea, no clue, you don't even know what you're looking at. If you show me some sophisticated piece of art from the 60th century, I'm probably gonna say, oh, that's nice. And if you're an artsy, you're gonna go, nice, that's so-and-so, whatever, worth 10 billion. Well, I'm not into that, so I don't know how to appreciate it. I'm not into ancient art, so I'm like, well, it's nice, whatever. See, and many of you treat that way the things of God and the people. I remember when I first met Stephen, I thought he was kind and he liked me and he said he loved God, and well, that was enough for me. I didn't really appreciate him so much because, well, how could I? I wasn't on the path myself. I wasn't yet a man of God. I wasn't holy, so it's impossible to appreciate someone like that. Because, see, many people fall under that category. Like I said, they're kind, they like you, and they say they love God. But most people stay in that category. Stephen is not. And it was only after I myself started growing in my love for God and started walking on the path of righteousness that I learned to appreciate so much more the words, the songs, the encouragement and the friendship, the mentorship, the time. Because, like I said, you don't even know what you're looking at. Stephen often says, it takes wisdom to hear wisdom. You have to have the thing in you to see it in someone else. If you're not holy, how can you tell when someone else is? See, back in the day when I didn't know, I went to all of those mega churches. I thought they were legit. I wasn't a follower. When I became a follower, a legitimate one, I stopped going to those churches because now I could see and I saw that they were full of you-know-what. And the more I grew in righteousness and holiness, I learned to appreciate Stephen, who is the top of his game. A true servant of the Lord for over 50 years. Very few people are like him, very, very few. He has been there, done that, not just talked about it and preached it. He's no Sunday school preacher, mega church teacher. No, he's the real deal. But how could you appreciate it unless you yourself are the real deal on your way to becoming the real deal? If you have some PhD, top of the field in whatever, rocket science, the only people that could legitimately appreciate you are other doctors or people who have been studying your field and have been in the pursuit long enough to know how difficult and tough it is, how complex it is to fully appreciate you, to go, oh, he's the top of the field. I hang on every word he speaks. I value his time. I value his work, his songs, in Stephen's case. You know how many songs Stephen wrote that he keeps telling me that practically none of his disciples know the lyrics to? We have a channel called A Psalm and Sword with a lot of his songs. It's still been under development, putting up more songs so you could learn them and sing and worship. But it doesn't matter because you cannot appreciate any of it unless you first learn to appreciate who Stephen is. And you will never learn to appreciate who Stephen is unless you yourself first become holy and serve the Lord. Get on the path and walk a few miles. Most people are still newborns, if they even began the journey. And when you're a newborn, you have no idea. How can you appreciate your father? So you see all these people come into your home and they all so respect your father. Like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, it's so great to meet you. And you go like, oh, I don't get it. Why you? He's my dad. What's so special about my dad? Well, you're just a child. You don't know who he is. You have no idea what he's done. His standing, his accomplishments. You have no idea who your father is. And it's understandable, you don't know. But you should grow, and when you start growing, you start realizing, whoa, wow, my father, whew, now. And you should honor him more and more. Now, surely, I'm not even talking about God yet. He is a category all to himself, the Lord. I'm just talking about men of God, such as Stephen, who, like I said, is a father of the faith, in such that he has walked it and he is an elder with experience and wisdom who can teach and mentor and show. And his time is valuable, his words are precious because he speaks with wisdom. He knows what he's talking about, and you would get great gain when you listen to him and follow his instructions because he speaks by knowledge of God, by walking with God, knowing his ways. Perfect? No, but that's not the requirement. No one is perfect except the Lord himself. He never ordained you to be perfect. You just have to be willing and obedient. And the more you're on the path, the wiser you become, and humble too. See, one of the reasons I didn't really appreciate Stephen when I first met him, because, like I said, I was going to those mega church preachers. I was like, you're a single guy, you're not married, you have no kids, you don't have a lot of money. Well, like I said, I had the eyes of the world. I didn't know how to judge and discern. How could I? But the more I've grown in my holiness, I go, wow, you devote your entire life to the work of God. You never got married. You have no physical, biological children. Instead, you dedicate your time and your money to doing God's work. Wow. A real man of faith. Everybody talk about Mother Teresa. Well, she got famous. But what about Father Stephen? Interesting, isn't it? Serving the Lord, doing what is just and right. But it's okay. I know you cannot appreciate him because you're not there yet. It's evidenced, isn't it? If you were, you would appreciate him. But you don't. And that's your choice. The Lord does leave it up to you. Not everybody has to decide what I decide. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Hallelujah.